This is practice exercise 1. I'm going to do this one in C#. I have the README file open here, and let's go ahead and view it in preview mode. So Control-Shift-V inside Visual Studio Code will open it in preview mode so we can get it formatted. Given a natural number, n, find the sum of the sum series. So we're summing sums. We're finding sum of the sum series of the first n natural numbers. A sum series, so the sum series is the sum of the first n natural numbers. For example, 5, for the sum series of 5, the sum is 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, all the numbers up to 5, we're going to sum all those together. If we did 6, we would add 6 to 15, that would be 21. So we're just adding all the numbers that were before it, that's a sum series. So we can look down here and see, okay, here's some natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can see the sum series in the second row. 1, 3 is just 1 plus 2, 6 is 1 plus 2 plus 3, 10 is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. I feel like I'm in the movie Clue. The sum of the sum series, what we're actually doing is summing the previous values. So the sum of the sum series of 1 is just 1, but 4 would be 1 plus 3. And then for the sum series, the sum of the sum series of 3, it's 10, which is 1 plus 3 plus 6. So we're summing the sum series. So there's a lot of summing going on, a lot of adding here. So here's some examples. We've got n equals 5. We expect the output to be 35. And there's an explanation for that, and we can see the number here. Then if n is 2, we expect the output to be 4. Here's the explanation. And again, we can see that here inside our table. Let's set up the test. So I'm going to open up Visual Studio. And please follow along. This I want you to do as well. We're going to set up the test, and then I'm going to turn you loose. So we're going to create a new project. We're going to end up creating 2 projects here. You don't have to do 2 projects, but I think it's going to help to reinforce some of these ideas. We're going to create a main project that will be the actual functionality, and then we'll add a test project to that. So the main project in this case could be anything. You could do a console application. You could do a class library. I'm just going to do a class library since this is going to be test-driven. So we'll create a class library, which is just a shareable package. That'll have the actual calculation engine for us. And let's call this sum of sum series. We'll leave all this the same. The location I'm going to put in C/code. I'm going to put it in a delete me folder. You could put it somewhere else. You could even put it in, say, let's say white belt practices or extra practices. Just some folder where you can put all these together. I'm going to put mine in delete me so I know that when I'm done with this, I can safely delete this project. So project name, sum of sum series. I'm going to leave the solution name the same. Leave the default, so just make sure it's the latest version. And this will create it in Visual Studio. All right, so we'll just leave all this alone for now. We're also going to need a test project, and this is what we're going to really need to get set up. So we'll right-click on the solution here. We'll say Add, New Project, and here we're going to create a test project. Pick any of the test frameworks you want. I'm going to pick MS Test, but you're welcome to use any of the other ones. It really does not matter. All 3 of these will work just fine for what we're doing here. I say that. I'm going to pick XUnit because I notice it's on the bottom of the list. I haven't done XUnit in a while, so I'll just pick XUnit. So these will be my acceptance tests. By default, I generally recommend calling the project acceptance tests. It's a good default name. We're testing the acceptance criteria. We'll leave all the defaults, let that add. All right, perfect. So now that that's set up, a couple of more things that we need to do to get this working. From the acceptance test project, we're going to right-click on dependencies and say add a project reference. We need to reference the sum of sum series project because we're going to use that. We're going to test that functionality. Now let's go ahead and change the name of our test. So instead of unit test 1, we're testing sum of sum series. So we'll say sum of sum series tests. So let that rename. And this will be sum of sum series. And here what we're going to do, I'm going to go back. We're going to get these 2 examples. We'll say n is 5. So we'll say value of, let's say input of 5. So that'll be our first one. Let's go ahead and set this up, and then we'll copy and paste this for the other test. So n is going to be 5. So we'll just start with var n equals 5. And I could do this as an int. So I could do little int. I could do big int 32. Those are all the same. I'll just leave this as int 32 so it's clear what we're doing. So n is 5. There's our input. Our expected output, so we'll just say expected, is 35. So there's our input, there's our expected output. Let's run through the code. So we're going to need to create some class here for our design. Let's do the sum of sum series calculator. That seems like a good thing to do. So we'll say calculator equals new sum of sum series calculator. We'll say calculator dot sum calculate sum of sum series. We're using this name all over the place, but we'll give it n, and this is going to give us the actual value. So let's say int 32 actual equals, let's just call it something more natural. So we'll call it sum. Now that we have that, we just want to assert that those are equal. So we'll say assert.equal expected sum. So sum and expected should be equal. So this looks like a good test. I'm going to go ahead and copy this test. And again, going back, we want to do our example 2, which is n is 2. So we'll say input of 2. We need to change n, and we need to change the output to 4. We don't need to change anything else. Everything else looks the same. So at this point, we need to create just enough to get the test to fail, to get it to work. So let's go ahead and create our class. I can either delete class 1 down here and add a new one, or I can rename it. I'm just going to rename it. Let's repurpose that class 1. It's going to ask, do I want to perform a rename? Say yes. It'll do a rename for us. So there's our sum of some series calculator. Now from here, we're going to need the using, so you can control period on that. So if you just click on this and control period, the first option is going to be import the using. That'll add that up at the top. We're also going to need the calculate sum of some series method. Again, I can control period when I select on it and generate the method. It'll do that for me. Let's go back into sum of some series. Let's make sure this looks good. So int32, it takes n. It's going to return an integer. Let's turn this into an actual method. And I'm going to say throw new not implemented exception. All right, this all looks good. Let's run the tests. So we'll run all of these. These should all fail. And they do. Perfect. We are now set up and ready to go. So at this point, I'm going to turn you loose. Your code is going to be here inside the sum of some series calculator, inside the calculate sum of some series method. So you're going to delete this exception. You're going to write the actual code, solve the problem. You're done when the tests pass.